seizing control of the center using a flank pawn. c5 meets c4 with a symmetrical approach to controlling the center. Knight f3 develops the knight and controls the d4 and e5 squares. Knight f6 develops the knight toward the center and controls the e4 and d5 squares. Knight c3 develops the knight toward the center and controls the d5 and e4 squares. e6 allows the f8 bishop to develop and supports the d7, d5 advance. The bishop is ready to be developed to an active square. This prepares the bishop for development. This threatens to eventually win material. This prevents the opponent from being able to eventually win material. Castling gets the king out of the center of the board, while also developing a rook. Moving from its starting spot, the bishop gets involved in the game. This attacks black's pawn chain. This is an equal trade. White combines recapturing with the development of a new piece. Both kings are castled and ready for the middle game. Solid. Continuing with standard opening theory. This develops a piece while also winning a tempo on a queen. This moves the queen to safety. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. This is the strongest option. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. With this recapture, black introduces a new piece to the game. This activates a piece and simultaneously wins time by attacking a rook. This blocks the attack on a rook that could have been captured. With the rook now developed as well, white has all pieces ready for action. This creates space for the king to move in case it is attacked. One of the best moves. Right on target. This moves the bishop to a more active square. This mobilizes the knight, allowing it to control more of the board. A solid choice. A very strong play. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value. This threatens to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. After all captures, this is an equal trade. This threatens to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. This stops the opponent from being able to tactically win a pawn. The knight finds a new active square. The knight is kicked by a pawn and must now move or be captured. This move puts the knight on a safer square. That's fine. This is a fair move. The knight finds a new active square. This is an equal trade, a straightforward recapture. One of the best moves. The rooks are coordinated and powerfully doubled on the file. A solid choice. The piece finds a new active square. This threatens to win a pawn through a fork. This prevents the opponent from being able to win a pawn through a fork. This allows the knight to control more squares. This defends the attacked pawn. This moves the bishop to a more active square. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. This threatens to tactically win a pawn. This prevents the opponent from being able to tactically win a pawn. Very precise. The knight finds a new active square. This defends the attacked pawn. This is the strongest option. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. A very strong play. This is the only good move. This defends a knight that was under attack and had no defenders. This is not the right idea. This permits the opponent to force a weak backward pawn. A good use of time, thinking and finding the only good move in the position. This forces the opponent to create a vulnerable backward pawn. A clear recapture. One of the best moves. That's fine. The game was close to equal, but now white has the advantage. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. The game was close to balanced, but now black is worse. A straightforward recapture. Right on target. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. Very precise. The better move was to move a bishop to a more active position. The best option was to attack a pawn chain. The rooks can see each other now, allowing them to provide mutual defense. The best option was to strike at the center with a pawn. This permits the opponent to move a bishop to a more active position. The best option was to move a bishop to a more active position. The better move was to attack a pawn chain. This is the strongest option. The better move was to recapture a piece. There was only one good move there, and white did not spend enough time trying to find it. Applying pressure to white's pawn chain. This threatens to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. This is the only good move. This pins a bishop to the king. Right on target. This allows the opponent to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. Taking that pawn will win material at the end of the line. Recaptures. This threatens to capture a knight and win material after the follow-up trades. Takes back. A clear recapture. Black was worse off, but now they are in a losing position. A straightforward recapture. A clear recapture. That pawn was free for the taking. This move puts the pawn on a safer square. The better move was to use a rook to counter a passed pawn. Very precise. This allows the opponent to activate the king by getting it off of the back rank. This threatens to tactically win a pawn. This threatens to tactically win a bishop. The best option was to increase a bishop's scope by moving it to a better square. This evades the check from the rook. This allows the opponent to win a bishop through an eventual fork. This move puts the rook on a safer square. This evades the check from the rook. This moves the bishop to a more active square, making the clearly correct move for a threatened rook. This is the strongest option. pushing a passed pawn. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. A solid choice, pushing a passed pawn. This is a fair move. This threatens to force eventual checkmate. This loses material. This wins material.